Not Norman by Kelly Bennett, illustrated by Noah Jones. Which one of you can remember? The book is illustrated. What does that mean? What does the illustrator do? Do they write the words or draw the pictures?
Draw the pencils.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Who writes the words?
Who writes the words? The author or the illustrator? The illustrator draws the pictures. The author does what? Writes the words. Good job. Sit down, bud. So this is not Norman. Listen. When I got Norman, I didn't want to keep him. I wanted a different kind of a pet, not Norman. See, here's Norman.
What's Norman?
I wanted a pet who could run and catch, or one who could climb trees and chase strings. A soft, furry pet to sleep on my bed at night, not Norman. All Norman does is swim around and around and around and around. This is not Norman. I decide. I'm trading you for a good pet. Norman doesn't move. He doesn't even twitch a fin. When I drop Norman into his nice clean bowl, he starts dipping and flipping, flapping his fins around. He looks so goofy, I have to laugh. Don't think that just because you made me laugh.
He's laughing.
Yep, I'm going to keep you, I tell him. Tomorrow, you're out of here. Norman blows a stream of bubbles.
Hey, why?
That's what fish do. The next day, I take Norman to school with me. I talk him up real good during show and tell. Maybe someone will want him.
How old are we?
On the kindergarten, I guess. On the way there, we see my friend Austin. Austin has a real cool dog and 7 puppies. Want to swap one of your pups for Norman, I ask? Who's Norman, he asks. My goldfish, I say. By the time I rescue Norman, his water is half gone. Kindergarten. I'm sorry, I tell Norman when we get to school. I'm really sorry. He just stares at me all googly-eyed. Finally, it's my turn for show and tell. Just as I start to talk about goldfish, Emily shouts, "Jenny's gone! Who let my snake loose?" She's looking in the bowl and there's no snake. Does anyone hear the story of how I got Norman? Does anyone even ask to hold his bowl? No. They're all jumping and screaming and chasing the snake. Not Norman. He's looking right at me. You see the snake?
Yes.
Thanks for listening, I tell him.
Right
here.
Fish. We have fishes.
Okay.
Now I goldfish.
That afternoon, we go back to my music lesson. As soon as it's over, I'm taking Norman back to the pet store. I take out my tuba and begin to play. Boom, 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 bum, bum, boom, boom. I glance over, and Norman, he's swaying back and forth. Glug, 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 he mouths. Look, Norman, singing, I say. Pay attention, snaps Maestro, and try to play the proper notes. Maestro makes me stay for extra practice. By the time my lesson is over, it's too late to go to the pet store. Don't think that just because you like my music, I'm going to keep you, I tell Norman. He glugs.
What is glug?
That night, I'm sound asleep when screech. What's that noise?
I don't know. A tree.
Yikes! There's something at the window.
A tree.
Then, out of the corner of my eye, I spot
A dog.
Norman. He isn't scared. He isn't swimming in circles either. He glugs and gives me a little wave. I'm not alone. Together, Norman and I slide open the curtains. It was just a broken tree branch. Thanks for watching out for me, Norman. On Saturday, I take Norman to the pet store, just like I said I would. I look at cats and dogs and snakes and birds. I look at the hamsters and mice and lizards too.
And turtles.
They all look like good pets, but they're not Norman. When I got Norman, I wasn't sure I wanted to keep him. But now, even if I could pick any pet in the whole world, I wouldn't trade him. Not Norman. The end. Yay!